Hey, what's up? I'm happy to be here at Hoonigan's today. That's impossible. You can't forget this place.
What we're interested in today, he's a welder, fabricator. I'm curious myself because I'm a welder fabricator. He works at SpaceX, which is insane to me.
That's right, yeah. I'm working at SpaceX, rocket building, and I'm working on rocket engines, working on fuel, oxygen systems, turbo shops, everything.
He's building rockets. He's come to the wrong garage. This is just, you can see back here, that's not exactly a rocket.
Yeah, well, probably, almost there.
So for me, out of curiosity, I know that TIG welding is something that you're really proficient in and something I like as well. What I want to know about is MIG welding because I heavily rely on hearing MIG welding. How do you get a feel for welding itself?
Well, you know, deaf people have a very strong sense of, every other strong sense, you know, of sight, smell. So we can smell things like when the gas is coming out, or we can feel the vibrating from the weld, and that, you know, that's transmitting onto whatever you're welding. So it's a visual and a feeling involved with welding.
So you'd say you more rely on your hands and your scent rather than hearing?
Right, no, I don't use my hearing. So for example, if I'm welding a MIG, I know that it has to be kind of, I'm gonna have the wire feeding, and so when it does hit the materials, you can feel when it's making impact to the touch, but you know, if it's too fast, that means it's cold, and I have to adjust, I have to make an adjustment. And if I'm noticing a different feel, maybe it's too hot, and so I have to make an adjustment again. So again, I'm using my eyes, I'm using how it feels, everything.
Yeah. And how long have you been welding?
I started welding at 17. When my first order was coming, I realized that I didn't really have a job, so I just picked up a gun and I just started welding.
We all do it out of necessity for what you have to do, but it's cool that you stayed in it and where you're at now. Like, the progression is insane. So I want to see just a little bit of what you can do. I got a little bit back to back.
Yeah, sure.
We'll weld back to back.
No problem.
No prep, just dirty. Who cares? You know.
Yeah, sure. Let's go for it. You know what? I've been welding for years and years, but I can throw in my tries. I haven't done this for years and years, so.
Yeah, maybe we should do a TIG instead, but I'm curious for the MIG.
Yeah, no, you know what? Sure. Let's give it a try.
All right. What do you think? You watch your dad weld stuff? Does he weld stuff for you?
Yeah.
What does he weld for you? Has dad built you something cool yet?
Yeah, he once welded me a Polaris.
A Polaris?
Yeah.
Like the frame and everything?
Yeah, 3D.
All 3D?
Yeah.
Dude, rad. This man is prepping for the work.
All right. I'm ready to start welding.
Cool, I'm not gonna look. I can hear that. And I know that's a good weld because I can hear it. That's what I listen for when I'm welding.
So you see how I weld two different ways. One was constant and the other one was a purge, and so it depends on what the material is. If it's a tube, I tend to do more of a purge approach, but really whatever feels more comfortable. That's it. And it's rusty, but
Yeah, well, he hasn't picked it up for a long time.
yeah, right, I'm a little rusty.
So for me, I can hear it. I can hear it and I know that you're doing a good weld because it's just like when I can hear Brad from across the garage and I'm like, hey, turn the wire speed down, turn the wire speed up. But I can hear that, and for you, I can hear it a little bit better.
Yeah, you know what, right now I feel like I was welding a little fast, so I think maybe it was just too much pressure. I pulled back a little bit and I felt that the pressure was adjusted, and I think if I turned it down, I'd have a better weld.
Yeah, and that's impressive to me. That's what I wanted to know. That's the difference between what me versus you would be, because I'm listening for that, and you're feeling it with your hands and knowing what's actually going to happen there.
what does it sound like? I ask people, what does it sound like? It sound like a psh or a bzz. And so deaf people, for me, it's the same idea. I'd like to know what those kind of things are. I'm curious about them.
The sound for me is if I hear something more consistent, it's just a more consistent crackle. You can hear the popping and the pulses and the difference. If there's too much like wire speed going into it, it pops as well. I know you can feel it in your hands, but you can hear that really easily. So the more consistent the sound is, and the more consistent it would be with your hands, like feeling the vibration of it, that feels better, it sounds better.
Yeah, you know, right now I feel like it had too much pressure. I think if we turn it down a little bit more, it would be more smooth because it wouldn't feel as pressure. So a different perspective. We each have a different perspective on the same work.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on here, showing this.
Yeah, no problem.
And also bringing this little guy to do something crazy in the yard.
Yeah, no. And one thing I'm concerned about is that he has no fear whatsoever, no restrictions. So if you ask him to do it, he's gonna go for it. So
that's why you're the welder too, so you can fix everything that he breaks.
yeah, that's right. It's gonna take me some money.
What do you think about that? You gonna break anything today?
Probably everything.
Oh no. A lot of work. You're awesome. I want to see some of your SpaceX work. Actually, I don't know if we could even know about it.
Yeah, you know, I can't share any of that stuff. It's top government secret stuff, so sorry.
Awesome.
You know, I wish I could show you, you know, and once you get inside, everything is so overwhelming because it's so big, it's just so different arena. No, but hey, you know what, to me, that's a big toy. Like, I wish I could get to that, you know? For me, work is work. If you go to work, you'd probably be psyched out, you know? But for me, this is something that psychs me out, so it's the opposite.
Yeah, we would switch. I'd love to see what you do, but if I could sneak in one day. Well, let's get to it. Let's get him out there. Go rip around. Thanks again, man.
Yeah, no problem.